Ooh, that actually happened.
Yeah, they actually put it out.
I was right.
You were right. Again.
So, Patrick, they've put out the...
You guys know I was right. I said this yesterday.
What'd you say?
That I'd heard they were going to put out a big statement fact thing about all this used game nonsense.
So Microsoft has officially put out a statement.
They put out 3 different pages on their new news site thing.
Uh-huh.
One is 3 titled, How Games Licensing Works on Xbox One, a modern connected system, and how Xbox One and the new Kinect sensor put you in control. So there's your 3 pain points. The used game thing, the internet thing, and the is the Kinect sensor going to stare at me while I am touching myself in front of my TV.
All right, what's the answer to that one since that's the most pressing?
All right, well, yeah, we'll get the Kinect one out of the way. You were in control of what Kinect can see and hear. Key privacy options like automatic or manual sign-in. You are in control of when Kinect sensing is on, off, or paused. You are in control of your personal data. Data will not leave your Xbox One without your explicit permission. Here are a few examples of potential future scenarios. A fitness game could measure heart rate data to provide you with improved feedback on your workout, tracking progress, blah, blah, blah. A card game could allow you to bluff your virtual opponent using your facial expressions. All right. You can use other inputs to control your game's TV and entertainment experiences. While Kinect is faster, you can use a controller. So
Can I turn on my Xbox?
To watch television.
Can I turn on my Xbox One by showing it my penis? Is that scenario listed in here specifically?
It's not that's not listed in here specifically, but they also don't say no.
Okay.
But can I watch?
It says you're in control of what Kinect can see and hear, so it's up to
Fucking
you
A, I
if
am.
you want to.
But can I watch Ryan try and do that without him knowing?
No.
Of course.
Wait, you are in control of my Xbox experience.
None of this Kinect stuff.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay.
You have my permission.
Brad, what
Explicit
body
permission?
part do you want to use to log into your Xbox One account?
Left ankle?
Unacceptable.
How are they going to stop people from just walking in the room and going Xbox off?
They are using the camera to determine if you are looking at the TV
So
when
they
you
know-
say it.
So it knows
So
who it should obey?
So it'll theoretically know you're not talking to the Xbox, you are talking to the
Well, no, I'm
Xbox.
saying, what if your idiot kid brother wants to come in and troll your game?
Then
Turn
it
your
would,
console
yeah, I
off.
think if he would have to walk in the room. I think theoretically he would have to walk in the room, sit down next to you, stare at the Xbox.
Okay.
And even then, it might detect that he is not the active.
Because it's
player,
also doing some
so-
pairing between like controllers and
Right,
faces.
so that might
because
not.
it's outputting some IR signal from the controller.
What is up with the 10 people sharing?
So let's move on.
That's what we're.
All right, so that's the Kinect stuff. Like
seems
that's the
insane.
reassurance that they
aren't going to steal my soul through my
expect, you'd
Kinect.
expect, I guess. All right. Let's talk about game licensing, I guess. Day one digital downloads.
So that's confirmed all games.
You'll be able to buy disc-based games at traditional retailers or online through Xbox Live on day of release. Discs will continue to be a great way to install your games quickly. Okay?
That is not up to the publisher. They don't say
That just
No,
says
that is-
straight up
That happens.
that
that happens. But I bet on some level it probably is still up to the publisher. Access your entire library from any Xbox One, no discs required. After signing in and installing, you can play any of your games from any Xbox One because a digital copy of your game is stored on your console and in the cloud. So while you're logged into a friend's house, you can play your games. They said as much before. That sounds like
Yeah.
a Steam type
Yeah, it's
thing
just
where
Steam.
you'll log in, you'll see a list of the games you're authenticated to play, and you'll have to download them and play them.
And since all of your disc-based games will have to register on the server at some point,
Right.
it'll know.
It'll know. Yeah.
It has to know.
Yes. Oh, it will know. Share access to your games with everyone inside your home. Friends, family, guests, and acquaintances get unlimited access to all of your games. Anyone can play your games on your console, regardless of whether you are logged in or their relationship to you.
That's just like it is now.
Yeah, that's exactly like it is now.
So you have your
Like
primary
your digital
Xbox.
purchases are
Yeah.
tied to the hardware and to the
Yeah,
account.
there's hardware
On the
level
360.
DRM and account level DRM now, and that's totally the same thing.
Yeah. So that means if someone breaks into your house, they can log into their Xbox account and play your games.
Oh, fiends!
Microsoft is pro burglary.
It's like I said, regardless of their relationship to you, is the way they put it. Like, if you fucking hate them, they can still play your games if they're in your house. Give your family access to your
Xbox
entire,
One, the system for frenemies.
Right. Give your family access to your entire games library anytime, anywhere. Up to 10.
So is that's like the headline, the main bullet
yes,
point?
that is in bold.
Okay.
Up to 10 members of your family can log in and play from your shared games library on any Xbox One. Just like today, a family member can play your copy of Forza at a friend's house, only now they will see not just Forza, but all of your shared games.
So is it calling it's like shared games in caps? Like is that
No, it's not in caps. But
that's not a specific concept that they're
Is
doesn't
family
look
in
like it.
caps?
No.
How do I put somebody in my family?
That they don't get into that at all. You can always play your games, and any one of your family members can be playing from your shared library at a given time.
But not the same game you're playing?
It doesn't
assume.
say. It doesn't get specific about
That's-
whether all 10 of those accounts could be playing the same game at the same time.
That reads to me like only one person can play a given game at a time.
That reads to me like only one person can be logged in at a time.
Oh, at all?
that just reeks to me. Huh?
No, it doesn't.
I don't know. It actually doesn't say. It doesn't say either of those things, but
So you said they canceled the family
they don't offer the Xbox Live Family
umbrella thing?
Pack thing anymore.
I wonder if they'll bring it back.
I mean, this sounds like every account is now that.
Like you can add up to 10 sub members or something.
Yeah. That's my guess. Is you'll have a parent account and you can create sub accounts off there.
The thing that I'm not getting from this, or that I like, am I specifying what games in my library are my shared games,
Right,
or
is
is just
every game a shared game? I don't know. You know what? That probably leaves them an out for family controls, like rating content controls. So if you create an account for a kid, you can say, "This kid's 13. Don't let him play my porno games."
my extensive pornography
My
game?
Extensive pornography game collection. So maybe that's what it is. Like every user will get a different view of a shared library depending on the rating stuff. But that's
Read more.
that's not specific enough.
Yeah, read the next one.
All right, trade in and resell your disc-based games. And this is where they just said, "Oh fuck it."
Wash their hands of all of
Say,
it.
this isn't us! We designed Xbox One so game publishers can enable you to trade in your games at participating retailers. So
That's the smart move on their part.
that's that. What are the moves there? The moves are they kicked it back to publishers and said, "You figure it out. We'll give you the
give you
tools. Do what you want."
This is all I'm hearing was Activision, Ubisoft,
Yeah, EA.
and EA were pushing.
It was like,
We need this stuff built
give
into
us-
the hardware.
Give us this, or the games will be $70.
And so now, but they're doing the smart move, which what Sony was doing before, which is like, here,
We don't
you deal with it.
We built it in, but it's up to you to use it.
Yep.
Which
as
is
far
not
as
too-
enforcement goes.
Yeah.
Which is how they handle region encoding on the 360 and PS3 even today. Microsoft does not charge a platform fee to retailers, publishers, or consumers for enabling transfer of these games. So that's just, if a game is allowed to be sold back, they've got some mechanism for that.
And also, if someone chooses not to sell back, they can't pin it on Microsoft as being like, well, it's more expensive for us on the publisher end to deal
Right,
with
they
the
just remove-
platform holder.
Right.
It's like,
It
no.
removes an excuse from the publishers if they want to say like, well, every time there's a transaction fee, we got to give something to Microsoft.
And then some people have been asking, what does this mean for first-party games? I bet those will be as open as possible because they don't want to seem like they're the bad guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And they
At least
can,
at first.
yeah, at least at first. But also they
First
can-
party Microsoft games were $50 for a long time.
Right.
But
They
that'll
can-
set the
but They
tone.
can afford to take a hit on some of
Yeah.
that stuff. The same way that when they had their games would be $50. So the last bullet point here is on the licensing stuff is give your games to friends. Designed so game publishers can enable you to give your disc-based games to your friends. There are no fees charged. There are 2 requirements. You can only give them to people who have been on your friends list for at least 30 days, and each game can only be given once.
So you can't give a game to somebody for a month and then have them give it back to you.
Well, it
So
doesn't
basically-
say,
basically
it
no
doesn't say it
denting.
deactivates from your account, right?
No,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, that's giving implies you are losing it as when they get it.
That doesn't imply
No, it
that at all.
totally does.
I think they would use the term lending if they meant you will give it back at some point. I think this might be.
Transfer of ownership.
Yeah, this to me sounds like transfer of ownership, and
I mean, this effectively lets you sell games directly to people you know,
right.
But only
trade
once.
or trade for games, like you trade.
But once, and that probably also means that once they've been given once, you can't then pass it to another friend and another friend and another friend. Like,
So it says, oh, you mean it doesn't
Like the
renew that? It doesn't
exactly.
renew that one give
Yes.
when you give it away. Yeah,
that's what I take that to mean. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
permanent give, and you can only do it once per license of a game.
Yeah, per.
But then that means that
Assuming that the publisher enables it to happen at all.
so. But then that means that there has to be something at this participating retailer end where they can on the spot determine if a disc has been given or wipe the slate clean on that disc.
I think if the games, well, at that point, I would say that the games that are enabled for trade-in and resale,
Have like different admin access to the disc or the root
No.
access.
it's just the part of that process will be to wipe the license
Yeah.
from start to finish.
Like,
But that'll have to be like a retailer thing.
Yeah.
They'll have to have some
It's
special
it's
machine.
participating retailers.
Yeah. So
They'll probably be encoding the number, it probably won't be enter a serial number, they'll probably just encode it onto the disc directly.
So you're just gonna have to know your buddy at the GameStop to be like, hey,
Hey man, wipe me a disc.
yeah, can you wipe this disc? I'm maxed out on my resales on.
Well,
Yeah, I'll bring it.
Probably not, because the retailers at that point, when they wipe a disc and generate a license, they probably pay a fee at that point.
To the
Wait,
publisher.
no, I guess there are no fees charged as part of these transfers.
even if they don't pay.
Well,
And there
but
are no platform fees to retailers, publishers, or
Even
consumers
if they don't pay
for
a fee,
enabling
they're
transfer.
still hitting a database. Microsoft still knows on a per game basis what's happened with that license.
Right, but it's a question of access to that information for game retailers and or the ability to modify that
Well, it
information.
says third-party publishers may opt in or out of supporting game resale and may set up business terms or transfer fees with retailers. So, if EA wanted,
where does it say that?
it's below.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Also,
publishers can do that, but Microsoft
loaning or renting games won't be available at launch, but we're exploring the possibilities with our partners. This is like
Whoa,
this.
Okay, so they say
I'm shaking the camera's head at
This reeks of we need to get these policies in place, even if we don't know
Jeez.
yeah.
how this is necessarily going to work.
Wait, so
Yeah.
it says so loaning.
Loaning and renting games will not be available at launch.
So they're not considering the giving.
So the give is a give
as a
then.
give.
Yeah.
Okay. It's you do not have ownership of
Yes.
this anymore.
Yeah.
It is,
And you can never put this back on your
I'm
machine.
transferring my license to you permanently, and
Permanently.
that's that.
Like when you gift a game on Steam, like when you get an extra one.
Right.
and no ability to rent or lend games right now.
Fucked. That's
That's-
pretty fucked.
That's pretty big. For
This
as
it is fucked, but isn't this still somehow less? Maybe that was the plan all along. This is less fucked than what it sounded like, say, yesterday.
No,
But still fucked.
I guess I assume they would have hey, you can loan this for 15 days, 30 days. We'll deactivate it from your account, and then it'll reactivate back on your account.
Well,
after.
that may be where they go with it, just not at launch.
Yeah. So saying that you won't have that at launch is more fucked than I thought it was yesterday, because I thought they would just have that. Like, to not have that process in place
Yeah.
seems sucky.
I think a lot of this is how are they going to handle those 10 accounts? Because think about how the PlayStation 3 licensing worked with when they had 5.
right.
Yeah.
You would run into situations where people just had dummy accounts that they would give out to everyone in a circle, and then on those dummy accounts, like you'd be like, "Oh, it's my turn to buy a game on my account. My dummy account is on all these other systems, so everyone gets access to it." And then, next game that comes along, next digital game,
Right, but-
someone else in the circle buys it, and they have dummy accounts on the other.
Everyone
machines, and-
is only getting access to all the games on your account on your home machine.
Well, no, because I can log into my account anywhere and play any of my games.
Right, but you'd still have to log into it.
Right. So that's
With the old PlayStation system, you didn't have to be logged in. It was
the
just
account just had to be on.
had
the
to be
system.
on the system. That was the key difference.
So they closed
because because that way you could have everyone in that circle could play that game at once.
But this family thing makes it sound like 10 members, that's 10 different logins. So if I just say, oh, all these people are part of my family, we all agree that this one Xbox is going to be the home Xbox, but the other people can still play if they're logged in and connected to the internet at all
Read
times.
the family thing again.
Xbox One will enable new forms of access for families. Up to 10 members of your family can log in and play from your shared games library on any Xbox One.
Okay.
Just like today, a family member can play your copy of Forza at a friend's house. Only now they will see not just Forza, but all of your shared games. You can always play your games. And any one of your family members can be playing from your shared library at a given time. Any one of your family members?
Not at the same time.
No, it's you can always play your games,
Yeah.
and any one of your family members can be playing from your shared library at a given time.
So
If you read that super literally,
Yeah.
that means only one of the sub accounts can be logged in at the
so
same
is it
time.
anyone? Is it anyone one word?
It's 2
or-
words.
Okay, it's 2 words. Okay.
So you will always be able to play Forza 5.
Yes.
And if Forza 5 is in your shared games list, which it's not clear how that's determined, whether
Yes.
that's like you flag games
Right, or if it's just everything.
or if it's just everything.
And Jeff is in my family.
And Jeff is in your
I'm
family.
playing Forza.
You're playing Forza. He can also play Forza while you're playing Forza. But if I am also in that family group
We assume.
and I also have access to that shared library, I would not be able to play Forza while Jeff and you play Forza.
I mean, that's
Or
more.
any other game.
That's more than you have now, right? With a disc, like there's no way 2 people can play.
Oh,
one
I guess
disc.
that's a good point.
It
It's
says-
only one game out of the library, so
Any one of your family members can be playing from your shared library at a given time. So
okay. So that's even beyond just like
you can play your library at any time.
yeah.
Any one of your family members can also be playing that library, but none of the others can while that one is in there.
That's what it sounds.
So
Yeah.
2 family members can't both be playing from the share at the same time.
Right.
That's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
But this doesn't.
So like the.
Do you feel that wording is specific enough that that's what this has to mean? Or
The
is it-
any
this still-
one,
still
yeah.
sounds a little weasel.
Because the idea of 10 people chipping in on every game they buy
Right,
is
right.
completely insane.
So
And also-
this is the throttle on. This is what keeps us
If
from
the
being
family member
crazy.
accounts
Like
get treated
the
like sub accounts, then maybe they won't be able to activate new purchases from a non-home based machine.
I guess there's enough like
that's how they close some of
undefined
that loop.
terms here between shared library, family members,
Yeah.
Yeah, like 'cause
giving.
So like when I play Battlefield with my family, could my brother in New York be playing the one copy of Battlefield that I bought at the same time in New York?
That's what it sounds like. Yes.
But not my little brother
No.
as
Right.
well. And
So-
my little brother could not be
if
playing
more than
another
two-
game I bought. He couldn't.
And also,
No.
he would have to be on your. He would have to probably tied to your master account, which he wouldn't be because he would probably want to buy games on his own.
Well, that's so. I'm not convinced that it's this family sub account stuff like it used to
yeah,
be.
I guess they don't specify, but
That seems
that
like
is-
an
that's
assumption
my
I wouldn't
guess.
make.
That is my guess as to how that would work.
The fact that it has to be this hard to figure out is really dumb and fucked up.
Yeah.
And this is most of this stuff is all for the disc-based games.
Yeah.
I can't sell. There's nothing about trading in digital games.
all the resale discs. Some gamers choose to sell their old disc-based games back for cash-in credit.
So they're drawing the line and saying that like
That's. It
Hey.
sounds like the digital thing.
The idea of selling back digital games
And
is
even
not.
it says enable you to give your disc-based games to your friends. Like it doesn't even sound like you'll be able to do the transfer on digital downloads. So I wonder if that ends
Or
up
at least
being
that
like,
stuff's not being
if you buy a retail game digitally, do you lose the ability to give it to a friend at all?
sounds like it.
It sounds like they are very deliberately not defining their digital stuff until they have to.
Well, they put the disc language in at the end of all those.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big caveat. I mean, it sounds like you have to put the disc in to do any of that stuff to enable like the transfer or
Right.
the give.
When you say
You mean to the other account? Yeah. That
But
that
the
part
digital
I.
copy, assuming because it has to be on the friends list, assuming you're doing the give, you can initiate the give digitally. You would
Yeah.
have to.
Well, you think you need the disc to put it, the other guy has to put the disc in first? to do that?
I don't think there's no hardware or that's a philosophical decision, not a technical one. I bet. Because I should be able to say I own this game. I'm going to pass it to you, and it wipes it from my system, applies it to your library. Done. Whether the disc is there or not.
Right, but I just wonder if they're drawing that line in the sand and be like, this is legacy disc shit.
That's the thing.
And, like,
That's what I'm
don't
saying. It
expect
sounds
this
like a
for the digital
philosophical
stuff.
thing of
Like-
yeah. If you're still buying discs, you have some disc-based expectations. We're gonna try to accommodate very limited
But we don't want this new generation to get used to all this sharing stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah.
let's wean a generation off the discs and cradle to grave the next
Right.
people in our DRM system.
All right. So that is the licensing one.
And there's a third one.
There's a third one. This is Xbox One, a modern connected device, which should have another colon after it saying, yeah, you need to have the fucking internet.
So this is the section specifically regarding.
About when you have to connect to the internet and why.
Okay.
Okay, so your Xbox One is always ready. I mean, systems, games, and apps are always current, ready to play.
Scroll to the bottom.
No more waiting for updates.
All that's just.
Access your entire games library, no disc required. Buy the way you want, same day digital. Use Skype.
Good in networking requirements.
802.11n, 5 gigahertz. All right, I'm still scrolling.
So it's the
Faster connect, Wi-Fi Direct for smart wireless devices. What? Okay, there's one bullet point here. While a persistent connection is not required, Xbox One is designed to verify if system, application, and game updates are needed, and see if you have acquired new games or resold, traded in, or given your game to a friend. Games that are designed to take advantage of the cloud may require a connection. All right. With Xbox One, you can game offline for up to 24 hours on your primary console, or 1 hour if you are logged on to a separate console accessing your library.
You think it'll time you out?
Offline gaming is not possible after these prescribed times until you reestablish a connection, but you can still watch live TV and enjoy Blu-ray or DVD movies. That's nice. Thanks for letting me watch TV.
Like, it's really shitty that in that they're like, we're going to put all these crazy restrictions on games, but all this other media that plays on this box, do whatever you
That
want.
we don't control.
Right. Like, that's
Well,
that's crazy.
It didn't say anything about. They said Blu-ray or live TV, but not downloaded movies or anything like that.
Right, no. Blu-ray and DVD movies. It specifically says,
Right.
it does not say downloaded movies.
And that is not up to the publisher. They are taking ownership of that.
That is boom,
System
that's
level.
us. So,
I wonder if you think you have to do that even if you have a licensed disc? I mean, it doesn't
yes,
say
because
anything.
once you've put the disc in and licensed it to your account, take the disc and eat it. Take the disc and throw it in the garbage.
Right, I forgot, right, you don't
Wipe
need
your
to-
ass with the disc. What is the disc?
I don't know.
Matt Rory, what is a disc?
Eat the disc.
Eat the disc.
Eat the disc.
I kind of feel like they should be like, hey, if you still have the disc and you go offline, God bless you. Because there must be something on that
There are
disc, right?
loopholes at that point.
I guess, but there's like
Because that would create a scenario where someone could keep their machine offline with a copy of the disc and play a game while you are on another machine and connected to the internet playing it.
right. That's one other.
Those are such crazy edge cases, though.
That's only one other person, right?
But this thing seems specifically designed to close all the edge cases that made the PlayStation stuff crazy, like the 5 system limit and the way people were taking advantage of that.
I
Sony
think
eventually had to restrict it to 2 because publishers were just like, fuck this.
Which
We
was
sell
way
20%
worse.
of the copies we should be selling.
Which was way worse.
Way worse.
The time on the internet connections here though is still
24 hours is fucking nuts.
fucking
1
crazy.
hour is pretty bananas.
Dude, yeah. Well, yes, 1 hour is far worse than 24 hours. I agree.
Yeah.
1 hour just.
But that's
seems
for
like-
that's if you're, again, that's to close that loophole of, like, I'm going to go log in on this machine and then disconnect it from the internet so you can play the entire campaign of this game today. But make sure you get through it today.
It's like the kinds of people we're talking about, the numbers that must add up to, and then ruining everyone else's experience or making it difficult for them for that, what, like,
I'll tell
how
you
many
this.
of those people gonna be?
I would eat the 1 hour on other systems, like internet connection time, for fucking 72 hours on my home connection. Like
No
something.
way. I feel the opposite. I would want another 20. Like, think about this. We're here at work. We're doing TNT. We're playing the game. The Microsoft servers go down, so they can't reach it to, fucking.
Yeah.
This whole thing, I mean, yeah, this
And
whole
it just
thing is
logs you
dependent
out.
on them having a reliable service, which I feel like for the most part they do, and they claim they're building it up. I don't know.
But it just takes one time for
It
this thing
does,
to just-
and there was like, what was it, 07 when Call of Duty came out.
Yeah.
Xbox Live fucking crumbled, and to hear them tell it, they learned from that and went like, let's make sure that never happens again. but it always gets a little flaky around Christmas. So I suspect what they do at that point is they separate the authentication arm from the connectivity friends list, like the actual matchmaking arm, and try to guarantee that at least authentication can do whatever it needs to do.
Like that has to
and then
live.
all these other services might fucking crumble.
Yeah.
But if this thing crumbles once, it's a fucking hellish nightmare from which there is no escape
Like
for them.
that thing has to live in like a nuclear bunker
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Like it seriously needs to be in some kind of hardened shell.
The
or
first
something.
time this fucking crumbles on them,
Yeah.
the whole thing is doomed.
Yeah.
They don't recover from that part.
No.
Because it already sounds shitty.
Basically, the instant like hacker bounty would be, this is what people are going to be looking at taking down
Right.
from day one.
But
It's
like the
gonna
way
be-
like taking down the authentication?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, this is way worse. People target Blizzard all the time, but this is like.
EVE Offline was like down, or EVE,
Yeah.
EVE Online was offline for like a day or two because of.
They have weird authentication stuff. I was reading about like their authentication and their content servers are kind of the same apparently, and they have some weird thing that they're patching in, and it was like the last time they could do this, so they just went ahead and like, yeah, we'll take it down for a couple of days. So.
So you think there's some you think publishers have already been on the phone together to be like, what should we charge for reactivation? Are you doing it? We were thinking about doing it. You want to do it?
Oh, I bet like that's like back channel. That's clandestine meetings.
Are you doing it?
That's
I'll
like
do it if you do it.
no one has officially said anything to anyone outside of boardrooms, but yeah.
But it does, but putting in the publisher's hands, it does set up for to be like good guy publishers. Or do they set it in terms of like maybe the friendlier way? Friendlier, it's all bullshit. But like you could imagine scenarios where it's like for the first 30 days during that launch window, when it is the crucial time for them to rack up those sales,
It's tied up.
it's tied up. After 30 days, after the initial launch period, you can sell it, you can trade it away.
What that would be smart for them. That would maximize for the publishers, when they care the most. And then, after that period when they're not counting those pennies as closely, then they can open it up and be like, all right, sure, fine, do whatever the fuck you want at this point.
I'm just so curious how used game retailers are going to be able to admin license stuff.
That
remotely.
they probably will. Let's assume the discs are encoded with IDs. They will probably then have a machine at the store. They put that disc in. It is connected to the internet.
You think that machine
It says
is free?
this license. No, participating retailers.
So you think Microsoft will be charging for that to like smaller stores and stuff?
If you are a smaller store and you want one, I bet absolutely. If you are GameStop, that deal's already done. That deal's already. Whatever.
I just wonder if they'll drive even more so drive smaller stores out of the used market to be like, we can't manage these. This service is super expensive. It's not worth it to us.
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I bet that works. That you get that machine, you put the disc in it, it checks the license. It says this disc is currently licensed to this person. Here is their name. Does that match what's on the ID that this person is giving you?
No, it's my mom's game. My mom,
Right.
dad did it. I don't know.
Okay, then wipe the license. That disc is now available to be purchased again.
So you think it'll be all on the disc and not just
Not just
paper
a
codes.
code. Sony's been embedding codes on their discs for a long time. I don't know that they have a patent for it, but they have one-time use stuff since like the PS2 era.
But can that be reassigned?
You don't need to change the numbers on the disc. No, it can't be reassigned, but it doesn't need to be on the PS2.
It's all
That's
matching
all.
up in the server, right?
Right. The reason they did it on PS2 games like SOCOM and stuff like that was so that if you burned a copy of that disc, it would have the same ID, and if they both tried to connect to the internet, one would blow up. So it was like a Quake CD key that way. Like it hit the master server and said "fuck you."
So you buy your game. I go buy my game, install it on my machine, unplug my register it, unplug my thing, my Xbox. Day one, go back to GameStop, whatever, and say, fuck it, give me the used price back, sell it back, and I have 24 hours to go beat that game. Offline. Yeah, wipe my license. We're cool. I don't want this thing.
Right.
And then I have 24 hours to go beat that game.
Yeah.
Before your Xbox says you need to connect to the internet
Before I
again.
get connected in.
And then when it connects to the internet, it says you don't own this game anymore.
Like, okay, whatever. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I don't like multiplayer games anyway. Done.
All right.
Let's beat the system.
So ultimately, there's still a lot of significant questions
And I tell
about these
and I tell all my
policies
family to
because
get
there's
on right
because
now.
there's a lot of undefined terms in these things,
Well, I'm looking
and
forward-
also we're just mad speculating on the mechanisms here of,
Right.
of how they're going to track
If you-
ownership and how they define giving
If they
and
really
family.
wanted to take the machine at the retailer thing to some sort of extreme, all right, you know how consoles, well, okay, you know how gift cards are not activated until they've been through the register?
Yeah.
What if they did that for the game discs?
And then you have to give them your account name or something?
No,
No, they
No,
just,
it's just they those literally don't do anything until they scan it.
until they've scanned it. So once they scan it, it hooks up with the Microsoft server, says, this CD key has been sold, it is now active. It can be used.
Right.
Totally eliminate
Oh,
the,
theft.
yeah,
Stuff like
theft.
that.
Theft becomes useless at that point. Now that would be, but that also
requires
probably puts some harsh limitations for smaller retailers as well.
Right. To have all
I don't know that
infrastructure.
I don't know that smaller retailers have those type of activation
Because,
systems.
gosh, could you imagine like the poor small retailer has to do this for Sony
Yeah.
and for Microsoft?
Right.
Like,
And Nintendo always had a thing where when you bought hardware from them, there was a scan, a separate scan that would go to Nintendo from the register.
I just don't know what a small game retailer is. Like
I don't know.
that's a reality that I have not been exposed to for a really long
It's all
time.
like the little used, like that. There was that shop at Hayward. There's like there are shops that are specialized in old games, but it's way more retro than this, and that will continue to exist.
Yeah.
Anybody that's not, for me, it's anybody who's not.
No, it's not. It's not GameStop. It's not Walmart. It's not Best Buy. But I can't remember the last time I bought a game either not through Amazon or
Game Crazy
Best
is
Buy.
a pretty small retailer at this point. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Amazon still takes you. They'll do buybacks on used games too. They're
But I'm just saying, like that's like you want to talk about your small independent game retailer. I'm sure they exist, but
I mean, that really does completely eliminate the
Mom and pop.
or the I'm selling this box of games on eBay, right? Like I'm putting up my game collection on eBay. On
no,
this-
that's just a give.
Well, I'm saying like if you have done that already, or if you I don't know, this stuff sounds weird.
eBay could be a participating retailer. Yeah.
Oh, but I guess the give does require them to be on your friends list for 30 days.
The
So
give wouldn't happen.
I don't know.
But like if eBay is a participating retailer, if it's peer to peer, it's not going through eBay. I'm saying like
Well, what if they did?
If
I
you
mean, that's
if eBay took all the game like
took them all in.
well, I'm saying like if you bought my thing on eBay,
Right.
and say, hey, buy this game, and you're not on my friends list, and it's like, why would I buy this? I can't
Well,
do
maybe
anything.
eBay changes their policy for games on this platform to ship your games to us, and we will sell them and give you a cut.
Oh man, I go.
Like that's how some of the other
I don't like this anymore.
Glide and some
Live
of these
and-
other bullshit services work. It's
Yeah.
like you sell the games to them, and then they sell them out.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Looking forward to having all these questions clarified at the interviews I no longer have with Microsoft executives at E3.
But hey, don't worry about it. You don't need those interviews because they've clarified it.
I just
True.
want to be able to manage. I want two things. I want to be able to loan stuff, be able to like, hey Brad, I deactivated Fuse. You go play it.
Yeah.
When you get back to me, we'll reactivate you after 30 days. I also want to be able to manage all my rights myself. I want to like authorize computers for iTunes and be like, I'm deactivating this. I'm selling it to you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Here, take it. I deactivated it. Give me $50.
Right.
And we're done. Like, let me manage my own rights on that stuff. That is the fight I really think that needs to happen. Is the rights management.
You're
on
talking
digital.
literal digital rights management.
Yeah.
You want the rights to manage your digital rights.
Put the management back in the hands of the rights holder.
Whatever happened to analog rights, people?
All right, we got to go do stuff.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's
Keep the man out of my digital rights management.
that. There you go. We'll keep working on this. We'll have T-shirts ready for E3. That's so yeah. That's our first impressions of
Isn't a man entitled to the sweat of his digital brow?
this nonsense.
Wait a minute.
E3 is just around the corner.
I look forward to more weird language.
Yes.
More carefully worded.
How much of this do you think Sony also uses?
All of
All
them.
Yeah.
I bet they use a license.
The more-
They just cut and paste this press release.
The more pragmatic among online commenters are already saying, just wait for the other shoe to drop when they say exactly the same thing.
Would it be awesome if they didn't? Yeah.
But
Are they
isn't-
probably just going to do this?
But isn't most of this all being mandated by third parties that want to publish on both?
Yeah.
It's less a mandate and more
Well, not mandated,
of a
but-
vague threats.
Okay, threaten,
and-
sure,
yeah.
whatever.
The demand for this stuff.
Yeah.
It's coming from the publishers. That seems to be
Because
the.
like at this
I
point,
mean, if you don't have EA, Ubisoft, Activision, you don't have a console.
I like
And if you don't want games from those publishers, just you should probably be playing games on a PC anyway, because that's
Yeah.
where all the hot independent action is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this is kind of like my nightmare situation where this is benefiting nobody but the publishers and
Right.
GameStop.
We're getting nothing out of it.
exactly. There's
Like you get
Well,
because
there's
you
the-
get rid of peer-to-peer sales.
I feel like the only thing that they've got in there that sounds like anything is like just 10 people and you can bring your games anywhere,
But
which
that's-
I could do before.
Yeah, the staunch online requirements. That's to me, that's the major choking
Yeah,
point.
the
This
24
other stuff
stuff
is going to affect a lot of other people more than it would affect me. But yeah, I personally, that's where I take issue is.
It's I keep using like the fighting game tournament example of Xbox in a hotel room. You want to play some games on it. How are you going to hook that Xbox
They
up to
have
hotel
all those
internet?
like Evo next year, like all those Xbox Ones
Right.
plugged into.
Well, there's not going to be any
wireless.
fighting games on the Xbox One for Evo next year, so they'll all be using 360s anyway.
But they,
They're all using PS3s. That's,
Well, yeah.
even
that's-
more than that stuff, it's the having to go through a licensed dealer to trade your games in now.
I think it's-
deactivate your shit.
I think it's-
to not have. It's almost
Yeah.
like a firearms dealer, right? Like okay,
Yeah.
we'll go here, they'll deactivate it, we'll charge them. a
You got to
fee.
have an FFL if you want to
Like that.
accept used games.
Yeah, how yeah, that stuff could
And
be
then
awful.
they just dictate the price of whatever they want to buy back at, right? Because it's like how else you
If
can
they were going to enact this authentication check, I think it's a shame they didn't go for like a Kindle WhisperNet sort of system. Of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
it's
right.
very small packets, so you're just on 2G or 3G, and it's free. You don't have to worry about being a member, and it will just go through the air. But because Edge is everywhere at this point, right?
Right.
3G,
Though I mean, it's at the same time that's a little more. That's kind of big brothery.
I guess.
And that's
They're
more
requiring it either
more
way, though.
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
valid or more viable on a Kindle because Kindle will move around. So if your house
Yeah.
does not have
Yeah, sure.
that coverage, like if you got a Kindle, you're out moving around. You have better chances of hitting that
that's-
WhisperNet than you do with a stationary console. So
But yeah, if you have a fucking cabin and you're going away for 2 weeks and you're like, I want to bring an Xbox. We're having this bachelor party at this cabin. We're gonna hang out, play video games, and do drugs.
resetting your system clock.
Yeah, that'll probably work.
Just keep turning a rolling system clock. How's it gonna know? It has to use something, right?
I mean, theoretically, I guess like most devices can be turned into a hotspot. Like there are ways. Like it probably doesn't require much. Like an LTE hotspot,
Yeah.
I can probably connect to my Xbox.
sure,
One,
my phone.
But that's just
But-
like so convoluted and like
Yeah.
fuck you.
That's the expectation that you would have to have that. And also, I'm saying like literally, like what if you were driving out to the middle of fucking nowhere and there's no cell coverage either?
Yeah.
Like,
The fact that it's not at least a weekend is just baffling.
yeah.
Or what if you're in places that don't have good internet? Like, whatever, we're in the States, a lot of places do. But this is an international product.
Yeah, this is a worldwide thing.
Thanks very much, sir.
Fruits here.
Do you got? I can share this fruit with one person.
Me, I'm right here.
You're right here. He's in my
What
family.
fruit?
You guys?
Kind of fruit.
It's good fruit.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I've already claimed the one slot on his family list.
I'm your family.
Yeah.
Like it's up to 10,
Call
right?
me when you're
Well-
done with the fruit, and then I can turn on. And
Okay, yeah. Once I'm done with the fruit, then Jeff. Well, as long as Vinny grants Jeff the access.
We take that fruit to the cabin this weekend?
No.
No, this fruit cannot leave this building.
I have to be able to connect to tell people I'm eating this fruit.
Wah wah. Can't
Weird.
Wait, can't wait for E3.